When we're somewhere in between, we just call me lover friend. I guess it is what it is. Hey, tell me what's going on. Yeah, girl, this may not be your favorite song. Cause baby, every week you switch up. Switch. So make up your mind and let's make love.
Hey y'all, welcome to HomieLoverFriend. Today we're going to be reviewing the first episode of Raising Kanan on
Stars.
I was about to say
HBO.
No, I was about to say HBO on Stars. So basically they kept with the theme during the introduction of like the mirrored look.
Like a kaleidoscope almost.
Yeah, but what is it called when you have like the blotches that
ink blocks.
It's somebody's name. Anywho, I like the fact that they kept the mirrored look throughout each book that they've done and just changed the objects.
Hold on, did they do a different intro with what's her name?
With with Power Book 2, it was the same
intro.
type of intro. It was just different. It was like stuff to do with school and drugs or whatever.
Was? Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and then we were listening. And I was like, "Is that Keisha Cole?" And
hey, you know I'm a Keisha Cole fan. Y'all can say whatever y'all want.
Which, as of today, rest in peace to Frankie.
Oh, yo, that's crazy. I
Very
did see
much
that, but
so.
I didn't know if it was true.
At the top of the show, we are introduced to a young Kanan at the playground getting the brakes beat off him.
Like a piece of meat in Rocky 3, bro. Like.
And then when they were holding the girl back, I didn't realize. It took me halfway to the show to realize that we know who Jukebox is.
Huh?
You remember Anika Noni Rose?
Yeah.
In Power? That's the younger version of her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It all comes together for young.
Now I gotta go back and watch it. Because I didn't really watch all the Power in the first 3 seasons.
Oh, really?
For real. He was just skimming.
Oh, no. See, I used to, my dad used to get the DVDs. And even though they had
DVDs?
Listen.
The bootleg DVDs?
Yeah, so the dude at his job, I mean, I know it wasn't that far back.
Bootleggers will forever be in business.
Anywho, he getting beat up by the neighborhood kids. They're holding Jukebox back. He ends up running home. And I thought it was cute how they did the little latchkey key around his neck. Everything about this show so far has been like a very good replica of the times. They have really, really good continuity.
Mm-hmm.
So he runs home. He runs upstairs past his mom and his mom's boyfriend, and basically goes upstairs and cries. And she hit him with the classic black mom. Either you go beat them or I'm gonna beat you. And then she was like,
every black kid, black male. I don't know. I can't speak for Brittany.
That never happened to me.
Never had to happen.
No.
But I know for a fact that happened with me. Even with my cousins.
Really?
Like with me fighting my cousins, they were like, "You better go whoop his ass, or I'm gonna whoop your ass." So you out there just fighting and crying. Yeah, pretty much, because you're learning how to fight. You learn how to take an ass beating, and you learn how to fight.
Yeah, well, she was basically like, with me, it ain't nowhere to go.
Yeah.
At least with them, you can beat them or run and leave, whatever. So she hooked my boy up with some toys and a sock.
Bro, she pulled them batteries out the back of that junk.
And he went out there.
I thought she was going to do something to him with him. I was like, oh no. That's the trauma that I'm
You thought it was a penny from Good Times, Mom.
I thought she was about to beat him and then make him go back out there and beat
You
that
thought
boy.
It was a penny from Good Times moment.
But she was preparing him with a weapon. Sometimes you got to have a weapon. Sometimes you got to have a weapon, y'all.
And then after having watched the whole episode, I understand that was a foreshadow to the very, very end. But yeah, so his mom takes him back up there, and he started welling on them little kids.
Yeah, bust all this shit up.
It was wild.
But in the meantime, what was so dope about the scenes in that first little part with Kid Kanan was the music, man. Like, I noticed a lot of old school.
It was LL. It was
a lot of Crush Groove style music. Some of the music from Crush Groove with the song that they had with Run DMC. I can't remember which one it was, but super hard song. And then it was a De La Soul joint. Then they had like a Public Enemy joint with Favorite Flav.
But of course, him being a New Yorker,
yikes,
and like the man makes some good TV. And being a musician, he's going to make sure all of that stuff
gotta be lines up with what it was when he was a kid. It's pretty dope to have him doing that.
Yeah. So then from that scene, we go to older Kanan. I'm guessing he's about 14 or 15. The very first thing I noticed with older Kanan or teenage Kanan was the fact that he started talking like 50 Cent. With that little
where
jaw
you keep together,
bite thing. And I was just like, do we have to?
Like, it only lasted that first scene, though.
It did. It went away.
But I was kind of hyped because I was like, yo, that's going to be dope if he had that little list shit, you know what I'm saying, that he had.
The whole movie.
But that's hard to do,
show.
Trying to act like.
When they were introducing new characters, I say they hit us with the BET straight to DVD Black movie freeze cut. Because it seemed like they didn't do it with every character, but a lot of them that they did, his family members, the girl that he liked in school, they would pause on the person, and then you would hear 50 and his voiceover talking about whatever. And I was just like, that is classic black movie narration. It was hilarious. And then as far as like the continuity still, I was looking at Jukebox hairstyle when she was singing and they were at school. When I tell you, I've seen so many pictures of my mom had that one French braid going all the way to the back and tucked under.
Tucked under? I would always see it with something like a little beret at the back or some shit.
Sometimes they would just braid it all the way down and tuck it under, and there'd be a little knot on the back of her head.
Put like a bow on the back and let the tail never
go. My mom has done that.
I seen people do it up the back though. I remember girls used to have it up the back of their head,
and it had like curls on the front.
Some type of curls or something like that in the front.
Yeah, that was for the older women. She was in high school, so
yeah. Plus door knocker earrings. Then the girl that he had a crush on, how her hairstyle was, the outfits, even down to like the Dorito bag. They had the throwback Dorito bags in the 90s. I was just like, yo,
everything.
They on par with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Granted, all the Dorito bags was empty, but whatever.
Next scene, we see Rocks, and I can't think of the uncle's name. Her younger brother.
I can't think.
Who's her right hand? They go to a club trying to meet with, I guess, a distro or somebody that they're looking to do business with, and I cannot remember what that white girl was from.
It doesn't matter. All we remember is I know from that scene. They were basically going to the club here to set up being able to sell drugs at the club.
It was Truth.
It looked like Truth.
It was Truth in the 90s.
It looked just like Truth.
I was like, okay, budget, resave, reuse
so
the
they
set.
Got these little,
I'm not mad
y'all
at
can tell me in the comments if y'all thought it looked like Truth or not, but that's what it looked like to us. I'm going to stick by that.
I'm going to stand beside
but
it.
The breakdown of the uncles or whatever. So the uncle's the youngest brother to the mother. Is her right-hand man. You could tell just throughout the episode that he the one that got his head on right. He's smart. He kind of low-key, but down about business and shit. And then you got the oldest, who is older than the mother. His ass always eating or whatever. And that's a little funny little play on it or whatever.
And when he said he never missed an opportunity.
Miss an opportunity. Yeah, that shit was funny.
I was like, that's the way you can describe somebody. And everybody knows somebody like that. Like, oh, okay, everybody knows somebody who go MIA when the
came in there. What was he eating when he came in there? Some chips.
Yeah, and then he ate the boy
applesauce cup up.
It was a lot.
Next thing you know, he in the scene with a burger. I'm just like, this nigga steady eating or whatever. But you can tell he the one who's a misfit. But he about his been. He the tough guy, but not too. He can be conned easy. I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like he gonna get a family problems.
Yeah.
And I feel like that leads me to my next set of notes. So I'm gonna read it exactly how I wrote it. Dinner at the same diner, the same time, every week equals a problem. Rock negotiating with Joey Badass, I don't know his character's name, equals problems. And I feel like somewhere the older brother just being, I ain't gonna call him an airhead because he didn't come off stupid. He just came off unreliable. That's gonna be a problem.
Kind of feeling untouchable almost.
Yeah. So what you feel about those two things? Her negotiation
Well, we already saw that the negotiation kind of went left throughout the episode.
I knew it was gonna go left as soon as they started negotiating.
And that's part of some of the notes I had put down there. I was talking about how like Kanan, they want him to be this, and it's the same way in every gangster movie. It was the same way with Godfather with Don Corleone. He wanted Michael to be the congressman, straight guy, straight narrow guy. So he sends him to the army to become a war vet, and he wants him to be straight and narrow. He don't want him to be a part of the business. It's always the same story. You don't want your son to be a part of the business, but you raise him around it.
Mm-hmm. And that's what.
And then the ones that's your oldest kids that you don't want, that you do want to be a part of it, are so a part. No, they be so a part of it so much that they're the loose cannons. They feel untouchable and things of that nature. When the one that you don't want to be a part of will be the best candidate for it, because he's gonna treat it a little bit better. Because for some odd reason, since they don't want to be a part of it, they just got to feel like they got to be careful and make calculated moves because they're just smarter. Because you put them through more things to be a smarter person, as opposed to the other kid who was just around being gangsters, around gangsters all their life. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's similar to what happened in Power Book 2 with Bobby Brown.
Woody.
Yes, with Woody. He was like the loose cannon, but the other brother,
even though they didn't want him to be a part of it,
he was more
what ends up happening is you groomed them a little bit differently. You make sure that they serious about their education. You put them in other activities to take their mind off of it. But when it comes down to it, they're the best candidate to take over for it because they
already have that mind. I was about to say they already had that business mindset.
And they're a people person. They know how to handle people differently than the one that you actually been grooming to be a thug, because all you know how to be is a thug.
Yeah.
And a muscle. You know what I'm saying? So Kanan feel like he got to take care of his mother instead of, you know what I'm saying, doing what they want him to do to become the good guy or whatever, because they want him to take this test, go to this good school and things of that nature. And you can tell this ain't what he wants. He wants to be a part of the family business because this is all he know. He feel like if it don't come to him, then it can't go to my eating ass uncle and the quiet one. You know, it's just he too quiet.
So the next thing we see is them throwing a scene about the lady's dog. They end up microwaving Queenie, and it was just every Karen's nightmare.
Every Karen's nightmare.
That lady was in there trying to get her some,
and she smelled something.
Mm-hmm. And it was
got up and, you know, she screamed so hard. Like, I really feel like she
all I saw was Crooklyn.
She didn't have to
Queenie!
Bree had to show me that scene. I was like, oh my God, that shit is funny. Bree never seen Crooklyn.
No, it's gonna be right here.
Hold on! Oh, dear God! Oh, God, take me right now! I don't want to live anymore without my baby!
That junk is hilarious.
Even if you just watch that one scene.
Oh my God.
It's classic cinema. Spike Lee did his thing. And I love this modern recreation of a Queenie moment. Especially with it. I'm not going to say that. Anywho. So we see Kanan go to take his aptitude test. And then he basically bombs the test. He answers every question B. And he know like this ain't the life that he want to have. And I feel like in every like gangster type whatever show or movie, there's always a turning point for the character where you want them so bad to go to, you know, the right, but you automatically know, like, I know what I'm watching. He's definitely going to take the left. This was his teach me the game ghost moment.
Well, we actually kind of had a little thought, well, if you go to this big, you know, good school, or is that where he's going to meet Ghost? And
yeah, I did think that at first. And then I feel like in reading the story, he met them in the neighborhood. So I don't think, I didn't think he met him at school. I think
we missed a very important part that happened in the episode.
What I missed?
The weird ass drive-by after the negotiations.
Oh, no. That was before negotiations. I do apologize.
So before she had went to go negotiate with Joey Baz, we were talking about how they have this little meeting at the diner every Wednesday.
Yeah, they
go for dinner. That's the family dinner where everybody come, they eat. It's the brothers, the mother, Kanan, and his cousin, Jukebox.
Yeah, and I feel like to show that people know what they are, his friend came through with his sister. Right. And he was like, man,
you already know this is where we be at
exactly.
every Wednesday. So you didn't come here by chance. You came here because you was hungry. So his friend ended up coming. What's his name?
I can't remember.
Famous.
Yes.
Famous came. And he had his sister with him. His older sister.
We already knew what that was going.
So you already know little brother was already on. As soon as he saw her, he gave her the eye. Come on over here. So they sit there, eat dinner. They outside chopping it up. Next thing you know, this little weird ass drive-by comes by where they're not shooting at them. They're literally just shooting off shots in the air and cleared them out or whatever the case was. So
yeah. And when she got to negotiation, she asked Joey about it. And basically, he was like, we just wanted to get your attention. And also in that scene, one thing we missed was their code. So in the very beginning of the show, you hear them kind of talking in code, but you don't really gather what they're saying. And then at that scene, you hear that they're using, like, if you're familiar with this, with like terminology of like the 5% of knowledge or whatever, like what's today's mathematics and all that other stuff, they're using that to help be able to be in public. To
be discreet.
Yeah, to be able to be in public and talk about business dealings without being too
Shout
obvious.
out to Wu-Tang Saga, because we kind of, I know for a fact myself, I learned a little bit more about it through that show.
I think I had watched a video of a man on the street corner explaining it to some other dudes, but the video was from like the early 90s. It was on YouTube during that freshman year.
When that era was very prominent or whatnot.
Yeah, but it was I was about to say I was freshman year watching like all those, conscious videos and stuff.
Conspiracy videos.
Yeah. A mixture of both of them.
They were trying to say everybody was pro Illuminati.
Yeah, so anywho, he throws the aptitude test, and we all know it's gonna be down here from there. Next, we see Jukebox at this little private school. She's standing across the street. I didn't know whether she was scoping out the joint or if she was there to sell drugs.
Instantly knew that she had a little girlfriend.
I didn't know. I mean, I knew she was gay, but I didn't know that that was going to be whatever. So she go over there, and she dip off with her secret girlfriend.
Her little Wajite.
And shut up. And the girlfriends are like, who is she? How you know her? Is she in such and such class? She was like, I don't even go here. I go to school in Jamaica. And the girl was like, Jamaica? The island?
They looked at her and were like, no, Jamaica Queens.
So they go up on the rooftop, and they kind of, I guess they're in the stage where they really don't, or she's in the stage where she really don't know how to put words to what she feeling. She just knows she feeling some type of way. Girl, yeah. So they end up holding hands and just sharing a knowing look, like.
She tried to kiss her. She kind of denied it a little bit, but
she tried to kiss her. I must have put my head down.
She tried to kiss her. She backed back, because I think that's like her fighting it, being like I know that I'm attracted to you, but I just can't be because my family ain't gonna accept it type shit. You know what I'm saying? Even though they know that I'm rough and rugged, you know what I'm saying? They probably think I'm going to be, but I don't know how they're gonna feel about it. I don't even know how I feel about it at this point.
Yeah. So
and she kind of.
I'm interested to see that storyline play out, because the way she was getting it in with them chicks in the first Power, she definitely came to grips with her sexuality.
Damn, now I gotta go back and watch that.
Really?
Oh.
Everybody was talking about it.
Damn.
Everybody was saying, like, because it was a role that you didn't expect Anika Noni Rose to play.
That's all girl from Dreamgirls, right?
Yes, and she's Princess Tiana. So after that, it was a random scene. I don't even remember what the scene was about. All I know was this dude, Dog was on wheels.
I've seen the dog in a wheelchair before.
I was like, what?
How damn
no
puppy gonna be in a wheelchair?
I've seen it in pictures and stuff, but I just I've never seen it inside of a show. But then I'm like, this is just a random scene to me.
It was a very random scene.
And he was like, sometimes family got to take care of family.
He like family over everything.
Yes. And I was like, y'all just microwave the dog, and now you over here talking about this dog family over everything. All right, you got it.
Crazy.
After that situation happened, Kanan meets up with his friends, and one of his homeboys basically tells him, yo, your people block is being taken over pretty much by Joey Badass people. And he was like, my people got some burners. We can go and see what's up. Long story short, Kanan caught his first body, and he hung around for a lot longer
than you should when you done killed
I
somebody.
was like, is the dude
like,
trying to
see this nigga take his last breath? Like, what the hell?
I had two thoughts. I was like, is the dude trying to say something to him?
Maybe they shot the wrong guy.
Or when his friends ran, some of them ran upstairs to that open door that was behind them. I thought they was going to come back down.
That's what I thought too.
And shoot him. But then I was like, maybe it's too early for him to get shot. Or maybe, I don't know. The hood is unpredictable. So I was just, it is. So I was just like, leave.
So to go back to the negotiations with Joey Badass and his mother, we kind of didn't notice this either, but what the negotiation was that he was going to take over some of her.
noticed it.
Well, we knew that she was assigning blocks, but I thought they were just kind of establishing the blocks that they always had.
No, so
I didn't know that she was giving him blocks.
Yeah, what that was her dude before he died had an arrangement with Joey's older brother, who was running the blocks. Or with Joey. I can't remember which one. But she had already had an arrangement that they were going to split the blocks. She ended up taking them over. And he was like, yo, the warning shot was to get her attention. Like, you moving product on my block. We need to meet and talk about this because we were supposed to have negotiations. And that's when he basically was like, we can either go to war or we can settle this between me and you. And we both know that we don't want to go to war. Specifically her. She don't want to go to war. And that's how they ended up, doing the split. So once Kanan killed dude, I basically knew that a war was going to start over that anyway. So she tries to go to Joey with a wad of money for the little boy family. And he like, nah, that's not going to cut it.
First of all, he put a hit out on both of them.
Yeah. He did. He put a hit out on him. But she knew that was coming. So, after he shoots the guy, he ends up going home. And, of course, they got having the war council. The mom, the two brothers, Jukebox, and him are standing there. And, basically, the two of them are at an impasse because he's trying to say, like,
you got to let me into this.
Yeah.
And she's like, you don't need to be in it because you're already fucking up. Like, you think you know, and you didn't even know. I gave him those blocks, and you already fucking up. And you're making it worse for everybody else because you didn't come and talk.
Right.
You thought you knew something.
He was just
moving too impulsive.
He was just hot-headed and took matters. He was in grown folks' business.
Granted, it sounded like the older brother was trying to figure out why she gave him the blocks anyway, and was like,
"Yeah, he didn't agree with him."
To begin with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the older brother I feel like didn't agree with her, but the younger brother again understood. Like, you
got to be a solid foundation when you're dealing with somebody young like this.
But within that exchange, Kanan was basically telling her the truth. Like, if you really didn't want me around and in none of this, you would have sent me away a long time ago.
Hence the fact that I was saying that you can't raise your child around this and don't expect them to desire or want to be a part of it.
Right.
If you don't want them to be a part of it, don't have them a part of any of it. Don't let them see any of it. Don't even let them know that you're in it. Because once they find out that you're in it, and then they keep seeing how you move, they're going to be more and more interested. Because you can see they were foreshadowing in the show here that he was looking at them talking when they were talking that 5% of code, and he was breaking it down. He was like, "Nigga, I know 5% of code, like that," or he learned it, or he had somebody teach it to him so he can understand what they were saying.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So now he understood their lingo and what they're saying when they're having their business discussions. They thought they were keeping it away from him, but it ain't hard when you really want to be a part of it. You'll find out a way. And what ended up happening in this whole conversation as well is the older brother and the sister got into it where she was telling him, like, yo, I don't know why you gave up those blocks anyway. She was like, and that's the reason why you can't be in charge of this right here, because fucking around with a nigga like you, we'll be in a war and we'll be in a situation where we'll lose everything. And it kind of lets you know, like, yeah, you got to have some type of middle ground and levelness to yourself in order to run businesses like that. Because if you go in there like, I ain't giving no shit, this is my block, you can kiss my motherfucking ass, those be the first ones to get their ass shot. When you feel like you're untouchable, those are the first ones to lose everything. So you got to be able to have some bend and flex and be able to compromise. Being a gangster is almost like being in a relationship. You got to be able to deal with people.
Yeah, one person I heard say, when you're negotiating, as long as both the parties leave the table feeling like they lost, then both of y'all won. Which, to me, makes sense. If you give more than you want and I give more than I want, but we agree to sacrifice X for the sake of both of us getting something out of it, then we won. So after that scene, basically, she tells him, to take out the trash. She came down and kind of apologized in his own way. And she basically was coming to the resolve that, like, I have to make a decision. Either I'm going to instruct him on how to do certain things, or
ain't no other option.
Well, yeah.
Because he going to be in it whether you want him in it or not. Right. Even if you send him off, he going to find some type of
way to get in it where he at.
She got to come to grips with, this is what this nigga going to do. Because she found out that he threw the test. So she like, I can't, there's nothing I can do with it no more. Right. Like, it's out of my hands now. You're a grown man, you're making decisions for yourself. Or you're a young adult and you're making decisions for yourself now, saying that you don't want to do what we plan for you to do. You want to do what it is you feel is your calling. And she got to come to grips with that might just be his calling.
Yeah, so.
Because if she don't, he going to mess around and get killed. Because he don't know how to maneuver in these streets.
So in him taking out the trash, dudes come past and spray the house. After that, we are introduced to the detectives that's going to be on that
have mercy. So the detective is Omar Epps, y'all.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to figure out.
It's Omar Epps and this rookie white girl. So we find out that this is her first day on the job. And he's pretty much training her. And according to the narration, he's the detective for that neighborhood. And he know who the players are. But of course,
it's just like any other gangster movie.
Cat and mouse.
Just so in any gangster movie, I was watching American Gangster the other day. You always have that one detective who think he's the real gangster,
right?
Or that he's one of them.
I mean, he got the law on his side, so he kind of got the upper hand,
right? But that's what makes them feel like they're bigger than them. So, for example, they move around as if they're the gangster, so they kind of dirty. They feel like they can get their hands dirty or whatever they're going to get away with because they have the law on their side. Mm-hmm. So even when I was like watching American Gangster, the cop that with the mustache that was extorting Denzel, he thought he was above the law, whatever the case is. He was doing shit that was shady or whatever the case. And that's why at the end, Denzel was able to snitch on him and get his whole crew locked up. And he ended up committing suicide and killing himself. But back to Omar Epps, though. With him being the detective, whatever it is, aside of all that, I've been watching Omar Epps all my life. I did not know this nigga head was that damn big. When you get older, your head get bigger. Like, that motherfucker is like a knot. Like, like,
leave his head alone.
I ain't ready for my head to get that big when I get older. Because they say your ears get bigger when you get older. That nigga head got bigger.
Your head is already big. So
I
you
get
don't got to
that,
worry about
my
that.
ears getting long and hairy.
Anywho, how did this come back to you?
Head,
when the detective is there, the family also comes through, and they basically tell her, like, you can't save Kanan. What's gonna happen is gonna happen, and you gonna have to give him the tools that he's gonna need to survive. Cause now they at his head because they already know who did it.
Their mama ain't gonna save him from that.
They already know who did it. Mm-hmm. And Kanan and Jukebox are having a side conversation where he asked her where she was. She earlier told them when they asked her that she was at choir practice, and he basically shot her a look that was like, nigga, no, you won't.
Damn, everybody kind of had the feeling she wasn't at choir practice, but yeah.
Well, I don't think
that's her cop out.
Yeah. So you find out that Kanan does know about the girl. So it's not a complete secret. It's just something that she's keeping away, from the adults for the moment. Then you see Rock paying Joey a visit, and she's trying to give him money for the victim's family, or not trying to. She does give him money for the victim's family, kind of as a token of, apology for the situation being out of hand, and for her pretty much dropping the ball on her end. And Joey pretty much gives her a very good speech about, at the end of the day, blood in this game don't matter. You gotta get your feelings out of it. And I feel like the same way she was coming at the older brother, from a perspective of, you gotta be smarter than that, like, better. Joey pretty much hit her with the same logic. And he basically said, like, there's a connection that a mother has to their child, especially their son, that a father would never have to their son, because you gave him life. He lived inside of you for 9 months, and he came out of your body. That's a connection that for most women is hard to sever, even when a child is older. And you came up with a good thought about, like, it foreshadowing Kanan's actions and power.
Where you have that disconnect on that little bit of biology almost, where you have that coldness.
Yeah, he said chemistry.
She's like, it's biology. He was like, even worse. But it's that little disconnect that you have where you can have that coldness to your son to even take his life, as opposed to a mother. She would probably never do that. Yeah. And mess around and get her life taken. And I feel because she can't make the right move.
And I feel like that's always a theme in this whole saga, because look at Tasha and Malik's situation. How, Ghost was trying so hard to get him on the right path, and was pretty much like, very hard disconnect. These are the facts. This is what you're gonna do. This not what you're gonna do. Even when he bucked up to him, Ghost pretty much didn't care. And then when you had Malik, still trying to enter the life, and Tasha saw some of the stuff in him, she was trying to get Ghost to understand that you have to tell him things, because if not, you already see that he's acting of his own accord, and he's really gonna mess up the adult world that he's trying to put himself into, because he doesn't have all the information. Down to Malik killing Ghost and Tasha taking the fall for it. I don't think Ghost would have done that for him.
Ghost probably would have just killed him.
Yeah, he probably
like
would
on
have.
Some real shit.
Or he would have just been so passive and shocked. Like, I don't understand why the whole autumn seasons he pretty much was shocked at his son doing stuff that he's already proven to you that he would do.
All his life.
Right. So I feel like it's the same scenario with Kanan and Raquel. Like, she is now coming to grips with the fact that this is who my son is. This is who I created him to be. And that's evident in the very last scene when she wakes him up in the middle of the night and drives him to wherever they drive and gives him a gun and basically tells him to shoot it. And when he shot it off, she was like, there's a bullet in this world with your name on it now. And it's always going to be chasing you, and you're going to always be outrunning it. Which I feel like when he shot the boy, that's when it happened.
Man, look, this shit, it was a great episode.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't expect it not to be good, because
it's Power. Power make good fucking shows.
Power is good. And I feel like even with if y'all can get me to like Malik.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I didn't go into Power Book 2 actually wanting to like him.
That was part of our...
What is that called? Malik Tariq.
Is it apprehensiveness against, like, trying to really watch it? We watched it late. We were like, we gonna watch it, but we wasn't super pressed to watch it.
Yeah, I wasn't pressed to watch it first because what you said, just being apprehensive about it. But secondly, I've just come to watch Power in the long stream of
I get it. We
binge
watching.
watching.
But if you can make us like Malik, you can make us like Kanan. You can make us like everybody that we dislike. It was a good first episode. Y'all gotta watch it. Stay tuned for episode 2. We're gonna try to get these reviews out every week, once a week. And anything you want to say, babe?
Nope.
All right, say bye
to you, y'all. Till next time.